Today, we're going to reveal Fred again's music making secrets. This is why he has billions of streams and sells out arenas. However, the problem for us is he can do stuff like this. Luckily, I've spent the past week studying his techniques, and you don't have to do all of that. There are some crazy methods in here that any producer can use, regardless of genre, to take your production to the next level.
Drones, always. Beautiful.
A drone is a continuous note or chord. To make your own, find a sound and add the longest reverb you can at 100% wet signal. Then play some minimal notes, I'll explain that in a second, and you get a beautiful ambient soundscape. But why does he do this? Using a chord progression creates a very specific feeling, and from there, you're kind of tied to that. Every melody, vocal, and drum sound has to fit both rhythmically and harmonically, meaning there's a limit to how much freedom you have when creating. On the other hand, with a drone, you have a melodic backdrop that evokes emotion, but you can take it anywhere you want. Now this is great, but it really comes to life when you add layers on top. And for Fred, that pretty much always starts with vocals, but not just any vocals.
I found you beautiful. I found you exploding.
That sample comes from this video.
I found you exploding. I found you beautiful.
It's spoken word poetry that Fred flipped into a melody. So how does he do it? Well, first, you want to choose a vocal that has meaning. The easiest way is to search spoken word poetry on YouTube and go through videos until you find one that connects with you. It can even be as simple as a few words like this.
Some things never change. My love for you and my desire for you.
After that, we have the real secret sauce. It's important to have your drone playing continuously in the background whilst you're manipulating the vocal. I use this free plugin called Paul X Stretch. If you record something in and press play, it'll basically loop forever. Then put your vocal into a pitch correction plugin like Melodyne. From there, move the notes around to make it melodic and incorporate it into your beat alongside the original spoken word to create context.
My love for you.
My love for you.
And my desire for you.
It feels like we've covered so much already, but that's only the intro of our track. In this next section, I'm going to show you two key secrets behind Fred's melodies. Now there's no one sound that defines Fred, but melodic stuff like you just heard is definitely one of his staples. And to recreate it is pretty easy. First, make sure all of your other elements are in C major, pick a sound, and just mess around with the white notes on your keyboard until you come up with something like this.
Love for you.
That gives us a foundation, but this next part is crucial. Start by choosing a sound with attack and click in a syncopated rhythm with the same chords. Now the syncopation already adds a lot of bounce, but if you put a sidechain on top of it, it takes it to another level. Not only does it bring a pulse, but because the chords are syncopated, some of them avoid the sidechain and are accentuated, making the song feel alive.
Love for you. And my desire for you.
Another thing that's key to Fred's music is the sounds themselves. Gone are the days where you can use something basic and get away with it. So if you want your beats to stand out like Fred's, then my ultimate texture bundle is exactly what you need. You'll be getting 1,000 sounds, including one-shots, phrases, Analog Lab presets, and so much more. Hit the link below and use this code for an extra 20% off. Before we get too far into the melodies, we need to add some drums. There's a technique Fred used on Backseat that is paramount to his sound. As you can hear, it transitions from a voice note to the actual drums. Simple, right? But there's a meaning behind it that every producer should take on board. Fred uses real life recordings as much as he can. I mean, he has 3 albums called Actual Life. Using these candid segments of audio make his music feel human. But how can we add something candid if we're intentionally doing it? Well, I started recording a voice note and beatboxed my initial drum ideas, which led to this. From there, you have a starting point to build a bounce. I put in a UK garage style rhythm alongside a perk loop and bass. And there's our beat. The only issue is Fred makes songs, not beats. So how do we turn it into a full track? Well, next, I'm going to show you his texture and arrangement secrets. The first trick is very simple. In Delilah, the main melody is so strong that Fred didn't need to add lots of layers. To advance the track, he just took those chords, pitched them up, and layered that on top. I also added a piano, and I mean, just listen to the difference in energy. Next, Fred loves to add melodic textures. It's important to do it after you have your vocals, chords, and drums because you want the textures to accent those main elements, not overpower them. So what's the best way to do that? Call and response. In our track, I treated the vocal as the call and put in this synth lead from the Ultimate Texture Bundle as the response. And finally, we have something you cannot miss out of your song. Fred adds stutters and automations to bring his tracks to life. I have this different vocal for the second half of the hook and I chopped it like this. Second, we have transitions like this riser. And finally, the most important thing to glue your song together is automations. This EQ slowly introduces the high end, making the perfect build-up. I've also put a shaper box on the master to emulate what Fred does with his machine in his live shows. I'm going to play the final track in a second. Thank you so much for watching. And don't forget to hit the link below if you want to get the Ultimate Texture Bundle.
Like some garage shit.